Whenever you lose money, so okay, you're getting stopped out of a trade, and you can apply this to any emotional trigger that you have. Okay. So you get stopped out of a trade, and then it leads to some type of emotion, right? You have anger, you have regret, revenge, make it back, undo it. So, how do you overcome these emotions? This is where people mainly stop. They go, man, all right, I've got to, you know, I'm angry, and so I've got to make back my money. I've got to try to control my anger. I've got to try to do this. It doesn't work. Emotions come because a lack of information. You are focusing on the wrong truth, right? What you believe is true is causing your emotions to come in. So I'll give you an example. When I quit my job to trade full time, I did not want to go back to my other job. I wanted to be a full time trader, but I was sucking it up hard at the start. And I was so nervous and scared that every time I lost money, I was a step closer towards me having to go back to my job and quit trading full time. My brain would flood emotion. Every time I was in a trade, my brain would just flood everything with just like, you cannot afford to lose on this trade. You cannot lose on this trade. This trade has to win. I'd take a day trade. It's like, this one has to win, because if you lose, you are you're going to not be able to trade full time, right? My brain believed that this was my one shot to trade full time. I If I failed at this, I would never be able to trade full time ever again. And trading full time was my dream. It was my goal. I worked so hard to get there, and I was just blowing it up, right? I was just sucking. And I was like, this is it. This is my one true shot. That belief, that truth caused so much emotion in my life and in my trading. But let's stop for a second and let's ask ourselves, is that actually true? If I was no longer able to trade in that moment and I lost all of my money and I had to go take another job, was that the last time that I was ever able to trade full time ever again? No. I could just work, save up some more money, and then quit that job and go trade full time again. I don't know where this idea came in of like, this is my one and only shot. So that mistaken truth caused so much stress and anxiety into my trading because I believed this was it. I had one chance to learn this. I had one chance to succeed at this. I had one chance to be perfect. And that was it. I would never get this chance again. I was like, that's not true. I could just go to work, make some more money, come back, put a trading account together, and trade again. Right. And so once I realized the truth of like, I don't care. Look, would it suck to go get another job? Of course, but I can still trade full time. My dream isn't over with. Understanding that truth now took away all the fear and anxiety of me having to win on a trade. So all of these responses right here, the regret, the anger, the revenge, they are all responses to what you believe the truth is. So if you're losing money, what truth do you have around that money? Most of the time, you believe money is hard to get. You've worked very hard to get that money. It's limited. It is a scarce resource. It is hard to win on trades. And so whenever I lose on a trade, it's like, man, it's so easy to lose and so hard to win. Are any of those true? No. You've got a 50-50 shot. Literally, you could just close your eyes and press buy at any time during the day, and you have a 50-50 shot of making money or losing money. So is it harder to win on trades, or is it just as easy to win as it is to lose? Ding. That's it. Right there. It is not harder to win on trades, but your brain makes it feel that way. Why? Because you have so much pain associated with losses that your brain doesn't really pay attention to wins. for very long. You'll forget about a win very quickly. You'll remember losses forever. That's the reason why we will not cut trades and we just hold on to losers for eternities because we will not cut it because we don't want to feel that pain. Winning doesn't bring pain, it brings joy. So it's easy to take those wins and they don't stick with you very long. The higher the emotion, the longer something's imprinted into your brain, the longer it stays with you. So we tend to believe that we lose all the time and we believe that winning is hard. We believe that money's hard to get. And with those truths, we get scared of if I get stopped out on this trade, now I'm behind on the day. Now I'm behind on the week. Now I'm behind on the month, whatever. The first step to overcoming your emotions is to sit there and challenge what you are believing as the truth. If I got stopped out on this trade, is it the end of my trading account? No, I should be putting on 1% of this of my trading account on this trade. So if you have, you know, $100,000 trading account, you should be putting on $1,000 max risk, right? 1R. If you have $100 trading account, you should be putting on $1, right? Is that 1%? Yeah. So you should be putting on $1 risk. If you lost on this trade, is your trading account gone? No, you have $99. If you win on this trade, are you rich? No, you just made $3. So now you have $103. And you rinse and repeat and you do this 100 times and over 100 trades, you're going to have some ups and downs, but overall, if your wins are larger than your losses, your P&L is going to do something like this. It's going to look just like a chart. You're going to have some ups and downs, but overall it's moving higher. That's the game, right? So now that you know the truth, you understand that this one trade doesn't matter. So why am I going to get emotional on it? The only thing that's making me emotional is the truth that I'm putting around it. And the truth is not the truth. It's not real. It's what we've believed to be real. And that's what's causing so much emotions in your trading because we're believing that if we lose on a trade, we're not smart. If we lose on a trade, we're not going to be able to trade. Man, I'm just not going to be able to get this. Like our success is based on us being able to predict the markets to a perfection. It's never going to happen. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. I just took a loss today. It's going to happen all the time. But I also won on two or three other trades today. A monthly credit spread, a weekly bear call spread, and one other one that I can't remember on. You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. The key is when I win, make lots. When I lose, lose little. Done. Rinse and repeat, right? So now that you have the truth behind it, how big is it of deal if you lose on this trade? It's not. So let it go. If you're nervous about losing money, you have to remember, hey, this is just 1% of my trading account. Now, if you're trading with way more than that, right? If you have $100 in your trading account and you're putting $100 on this trade, no wonder you're emotional because you can't predict what's about to happen. No matter how good of a trade setup you have, it's still probably only a 60% chance of winning, which means you got a 40% chance of it losing. Almost half of the time you're going to lose on that perfect setup. And people don't realize this. They think perfect setups win 99% of the time. It's like, no, they're like kind of a 60% instead of a 50%. So then you lose this money and it's really frustrating. It's because it's not, you don't have an issue with losing on trades. You have an issue with risk. That's the truth. Once you solve that, now you can go, oh, I should be putting $3 at the most on this trade of a $100 trading account and apply that to any number you got, 1 to 3%. Because we're playing a game of knowing the truth. The truth is, no matter how good of a trader you are, no matter how good of a setup it is, you probably have a 50 to a 60% chance whenever you are buying directionally. Now, like us selling credit spreads, we're 98% of the time winning. Like even today when we're getting just our butts kicked on that thing, it bounced and went right back to break even. Get out. Right? 98% chance that we are not going to lose on a trade. But that's because we're selling credit spreads, not because I'm a genius. Right? Anyone can do this, and that's why everyone is making money on the All Access Pass right now doing this because it's just the way it's set up. But if you're going directionally, if you are buying shares, shorting shares, buying an option, right, then you're playing with a 50 or 60% win rate. That's it. So you've got to understand that you've got a 50 to a 40% chance that this perfect, amazing trade is going to lose. So manage your risk. Now, once you have the truth in play and your emotions start to hit, because guess what? You've built habits. All right. You now have a habit of whenever you're in the trade that your brain's going to start saying, okay, start flooding fear, start worrying, you're going to start getting your heart rate high just because you're in a trade and your brain's like, this is what we do when we get in a trade because this is what you've done every single time for the last 100 trades. You get scared. That habit is still going to be there on every trade you take. So now you've got to change that habit. Every time you start to feel that emotion, you start to feel scared, you got to do what? Hold on. Hold on. You've got to recognize it. I am feeling scared. Why am I scared? What truth am I believing? I'm believing right now the truth that money is hard to get. Believing right now that it's much harder to win on a trade than it is to lose, and I'm just going to lose all the time. Whatever truth you're believing, you need to recognize it and say, that's not real. What is the truth? The truth is, I've got 1% of my trading account on this one trade, and I've got a 50% chance it's going to work, which means flip a coin, man. It doesn't matter how good of a 10 EMA setup it is. Flip a coin. Half of them are going to lose, half of them are going to win. The only way you're going to be successful is when I win, when I flip that coin, it lands on heads, I need to make $200. When I flip that coin and it lands on tails, I need to make 100 or lose $100 or less. That's my only job as a trader. It's not to control the outcome. It's to control the risk. That's it. That's the truth. And so you can then catch those emotions. I've got fear. What's the truth? Okay, the truth is this one trade doesn't matter. This one trade is not going to break me, and this one trade is not going to make me. I'm not going to be rich and successful because I win on this trade. My success in trading comes from managing my risk. My success in trading comes from just flipping the coin and then following my plan. Okay, it's a losing trade. I lost small. I lost my R or less. Perfect. Is that successful? Yes. Because I know that over 100 trades, I'm going to have 50 losers and I'm going to have 50 winners. Guaranteed over 100 trades. The only way I am making money in trading is out of those 50 losers, I lost $100 or less. And out of those 50 winners, I made $100 or more. That's how I'm going to be successful. And so it doesn't matter if I win or lose. Winning and losing has nothing to do with success. This new truth is now going to take the pressure and fear off of you getting stopped out. It's going to take the pressure and fear off of you losing on this trade. It all comes through understanding emotions. It's not willpower. It's not ripping your leg out every time you give into your fear. No, you will never be able to overcome your emotions. Instead, figure out why you're feeling what you're feeling, and it's based on a truth. Remember, your emotions are just reacting to what you believe. This truth out here, this truth that I lived for like 6 or 7 months of like, this is my one chance to trade. This is it. If I blow it, I'll never trade again. It's not the truth. But yet that caused so many emotions and sleepless nights and stress. It's not the truth. So you lose on a trade. Well, that strategy sucks. I'm going to the next strategy. No, it's not the truth. Every strategy is going to have a bucket full of losers and a bucket full of winners. Every strategy. Right? There is no golden nugget that never loses, but yet that's what we expect. And those expectations destroy our success in trading. They cause us to worry, to sleep, to lose sleep, to stress, to get down on ourselves. Like, man, I'm never going to get this. I just had 3 losses in a row. Yeah, let's flip a coin 100 times. I guarantee you, out of those 100 coin flips, you will have stretches where you hit tails at least 6 to 10 times in a row. But you're also going to have heads hit 6 to 10 times in a row in these 100 or even 1,000 coin flips. It's just probabilities, my friends. So if you're on 6 losing trades in a row, does it mean you're a bad trader? Does it mean that your strategy's broke? Does it mean, well, are you following your strategy most of the time? Because most of the time after 2 losses in a row, then they start screwing up their strategy. They start going, well, I'm going to get in here even though my strategy says wait for this. I'm going to move my stop even though my strategy says don't move my stop. We start screwing up the probabilities and adding even worse results because we don't stick to the plan. But this is a whole just rabbit hole that we're sinking down. But I hope that it makes sense because once you start to understand the root causes of your beliefs and emotions, now you can start to overcome your emotions by changing your beliefs. Because once you can put a trade on and just walk away, because why? This one trade doesn't matter. I've got my stop and I've got my target. I'm not rich if I win on this trade and I'm not broke if I lose on it. I'm not successful if I win and I'm not a failure if I lose. This is just throw it into the bucket, right? Over 100 coin flips, 100 trades, it's going to just fall the way it's going to fall. I can't help the fact that Trump tweets something. I can't help the fact that, sentiment shift. I can't help the fact that it was a great trade that just didn't win. It's out of my control. No matter what I do, I cannot make the markets go up or down. It's out of my control. But yet that's our expectation is that we should be able to control and predict the markets perfectly. That's why I use price action to give me an edge. And even price action is going to give me about a 60 to a 70% win rate. But that is a huge edge. That extra 10 to 20% win rate of me not just winning on trades, but avoiding a few losing trades by me not going long when the trend is bearish or me not going bearish when the trend is bullish, right? By me doing that, now I can increase my win rate by avoiding a few losses and having a few more wins. And that alone changes everything. All right. So, again, that was a long kind of process and rant, but I challenge you all to realize your emotions are simply just responses to your beliefs. You've got to change your beliefs. You got to find what the truth is, and what we believe is not the truth. I would say 99% of people believe that winning on trades is what makes you successful. Successful traders win, and losing on trades is what's going to make you fail at trading. That's what I believed. It's not the truth. Not the truth at all. You could have a 20% win rate. I wish I had that graph. I don't have it in front of me, but you could have a 20% win rate and make way more money than 99% of the people out there. Did you know statistically, most traders actually carry like an 80% win rate, 70 to 80% win rate? But do they make money? No, 90% of the people, of the traders, do not make money. But yet they have an 80% win rate. Why? Because as soon as they're up a dollar, they take it. And as soon as they're down, they lose huge. So they have a high win rate because they always are, once they're up a little bit, they take it. So it's very easy to win on a trade if you're only, as soon as you're green, you just take it. But over 100 trades, what are you doing? Right? Over 100 trades, when you're wrong, you're losing $200. And when you're right, you're making $10. 50% win rate, even an 80% win rate, you're screwed. You're never going to get ahead. And that's the dilemma that most people are playing with. And so you've got to understand what the truth is. The truth is win rate means nothing. Win rate means nothing. Controlling your risk is everything. Because you could have a 20% win rate, a strategy that never wins. But you know what? If you lose $10 on every single loser, but when you win, you make $1,000, are you successful? Yeah. You could do out of 10 trades, 8 of them are losers. You lost $80 and your one winner makes 1,000. Are you profitable? Yes. With a 20% win rate. Boom. I remember talking to Jeremy. Jeremy had this scalping like strategy thing, and he's like, Tony, it had like a 15 or 20% win rate. Like I literally lost 30 trades in a row. And he's like, most people, they try this and they just get destroyed. They cannot stick to the system after 15 losses in a row. They can't. They start screwing it up. And I just stick to my system and I just take my little losses, my little paper cuts, because I know the one time I hit, it's going to be huge. I'm going to just print money on this and I'm okay just taking losses here. Because he understands the truth. The truth is risk reward. Risk is the only thing that matters. And so now you can take this truth. Each one of you now know what the truth to successful trading is. You can take this truth, and the next time you're in a trade and you start getting nervous or worried, you can go, hold on, brain, why are we worried? If I lose on this trade, it means nothing. I'm going to lose 1% of my trading account. I'm not broke. I can easily take another trade because guess what? Flip another coin. What's going to happen? You're probably going to make 3% on the next trade. Statistics, right? How it goes. So it doesn't matter. It's not my ego. I'm not dumb because I lost on a trade because I did all this analysis and then it didn't work. It's statistics, it's probabilities. All of these emotions that we have are based off of just false lies. Identify those and your whole life will change. Stop got hit, then reversed and went to target today. That's going to happen. Same thing for me. I got out of a credit spread for a small loss, and then literally 20 minutes later, it was in the green, and I could have exited there. Oh well, it is what it is. It's frustrating. Like I was frustrated. I'm like, man, that's stupid. But I don't know the future because just as easily as that thing went up, it could have just as easily gone down, and then I would have lost huge. So I'm happy with my small loss because I already won on a credit spread early in the week, and so really I'm pretty much net even this week. That's awesome. And I'm going to get into another credit spread tomorrow and actually make a whole bunch of money, most likely. So, like, life is good, right? Don't let this frustration cause you to do something dumb because of a false belief. All right. Any other things on this that you guys want me to go over? Um, Again, most people are they're gonna have their identity hit, like intelligence, self-worth. If you are relying on the markets to give you self-worth or value, most people love trading because when they're right, it fills them with dopamine and they love that hit. It's like a drug. And so they'll take 1,000 crappy trades because they don't really care about that. They don't really care about money. They don't care about being successful. They just want that dopamine hit when they do catch that one winner. Even if it's a $5 win, they don't care. So you lost $1,000 to make $5. Your brain will force you to get that dopamine hit, right? If you're trying to identify your self-worth through trading, you are going to go into a deep depression because you are now trying to force an outcome. And what's going to happen is when it's good, you'll be amazing. And when it's bad, you'll be terrible. When it's good, you'll be amazing. When it's bad, you'll be terrible. This is exhausting. I rode this roller coaster for years. It's exhausting. And I've never met someone that has this that has lasted more than 2 years. They all quit. They all quit. Instead, understand your self worth. Your identity, your intelligence has nothing to do with the outcome of this trade. In fact, your intelligence is the fact that you can follow the plan and let the trades go because you are smart enough to understand what really makes money in trading. And what really makes money in trading is not the wins and the losses. What makes money in trading is the risk reward. Risk reward. Keep saying win loss. That's all that matters. And you're intelligent enough to let losses come and not frustrate you, right? But most people don't do that. Again, the healthy way of going about this is do not base your self worth on anything. Understand who you are. You are unique. There is not one person in this world that is you. You have your own unique DNA, fingerprint. You are unique. If there was one diamond that didn't exist anywhere else in the world, how expensive would that diamond be? If there was only one of one car made, how expensive is that hypercar? Millions. There's only one of you. Do not lower your self-worth because of some outcome. Understand who you are. And when you understand who you are, you're you're going to realize this took me a long time to learn this, my friends. When you understand who you are, every loss you'll view as a learning opportunity and you will be grateful for it because you understand you will get this. And every win is only going, it's not going to be like, well, now I'm worth something. No, you are also going to learn from every win and you're going to enjoy it even more because you understand who you are. You're going to understand the process that went into that win and you're going to enjoy it much more than just the money because you don't need that dopamine hit of being correct. You understand that just following the process is going to get you there. Everything is going to work out for your good. The people that truly love themselves and don't need anything from the markets are the ones that just print money. The ones that are trying to prove something by trading are the ones that lose everything. Because the secret is everyone's going to have ups and downs in their trading. This is what your trading year looks like. Lots of ups and downs. The person that doesn't care is not going to get flustered by the downs. And they're not going to think that they're a genius from the ups and start putting their entire account on one trade. They're going to stick with their risk. As soon as you start hitting 6 or 7 winners in a row, you start going, I've hit the holy grail. My strategy is amazing. No one knows about this, and I'm the most smartest person in the world. Now I could have made $100,000 if I would have just put 10 grand on this trade over here. So now that's guess what I'm going to do, and that's right in time for the markets to reverse back down. And then you end up losing everything that you made over here, and then you try to make it back even more because now you're confident that you know you can make it previously, and you end up losing everything. And then what happens? You fall apart, right? You absolutely just you go into the depths of despair. Whereas the person that knows their self-worth and knows their identity, they don't care about the wins because their self-worth isn't tied to it. They just keep doing the process. The process is what's making them money, not their intelligence. And then when they go through the hard, they learn, they grow from it. It's not them being dumb or stupid. It's just how the market's working. I'm going to get better from it. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to be better at cutting my losses even quicker. And then when that market turns around and they start hitting those huge wins again, they didn't lose that much to begin with, and they're actually making money to ride back the next session again. And whenever they make life changing money again, they understand it was the process that got them that, not themselves. And that's how you succeed in trading. And that's how you could do the exact same thing. You could have person A over here that doesn't need their self worth proven by the markets. And you have person B over here who does. They need their self worth proven by the markets, and they'll go through the exact same trades. This person's going to succeed. This person won't. Because this person is going to dig themselves into a hole because they're trying to prove something. Whereas person A, losses don't bother them. Wins don't bother them. They're just following the system, and before you know it, their wins and losses, their losses cut small, their wins they allowed to run and make big. And the person that's trying to prove themselves, as soon as that win comes, they're so scared they're going to give it back that they cut it. And instead of making $1,000 on that trade, they make 100. And then when they lose, they don't cut the losers because it's too painful to cut. And so instead of losing $100, they lose 1,000. And then a couple of those trades, the math goes against them, whereas this person just follows the plan. They let their winners run, understanding that some of them are going to run and then reverse and stop them out. And they also understand that some trades are going to stop them out and then go all the way to target. That's going to happen over 100 trades, but it's not going to happen every time. Keep going. Keep standing back up. The markets taught me how to become my very best self because everything that I just mentioned there, how do I know that? Because that was me. I was relying on my self-worth to be proven by the markets. I was scared to lose on trades. I was worried about this, and this. So if it relates and hits home, why? Because I lived it for years. The markets had to slowly teach me how to stop thinking that way and how to finally start seeing what the actual truth is and then start believing and walking down that road and just loving myself because I'm unique, because I'm me, because I'm special. I have the ability to be able to do something great. Every one of us do. It's inside of every single one of us, which then makes us amazing, right? Love yourself. Stop trying to prove something with through the markets of your intelligence. You're already smart. So you don't need to prove it. And I promise you, if you can let that go, you'll make money in the markets. Losses will be easier and you'll see the whole picture. All right, guys. Oh, you're welcome for the S curve course. Yeah, that's life changing, right? I'm telling you, man, that S curve course is the best money you can spend. It's money back guarantee, by the way, but it will, just like this little session right here, hopefully one little nugget's like, wow, that light bulb, that S curve course is going to change your trading 100%. Your day trade, swing trading, investing, it's just price action. So it works with everything with the chart. You're halfway to unlocking a funded account with it. I'm telling you, I think I say that in the course. It's not like a guarantee, but you will make back the cost of that course very quickly. And if not, send me a message because you're doing something wrong. Let me help you out. But love you guys. Oh, that's a great one. If you're making, I gotta go, but I can't stop. Whenever you are making mistakes over and over and over again, realize you are not. Don't worry about overcoming that. In that process, learn how to keep standing back up. That's the lesson that the markets are trying to teach you. That's the lesson that God's trying to teach you. Just keep standing back up. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to overcome that. You don't need to be like, man, I need to, I keep making the same mistake. I keep moving my stop. I keep moving my stop. I keep moving my stop. First off, figure out what the truth is behind that because you're still believing something that's leading you to do the wrong action. But second off, focus on just learning to stand back up. Like, you know what? I might not overcome this today, but I'm going to get really good at standing back up every day because I get a chance to stand back up. I messed up. I'm going to stand back up. I messed up. I'm going to stand back up. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to be resilient. I'm going to be that kid that's trying to learn baseball, right? And he throws the ball up and he swings and he misses, and he throws the ball up and he swings and he misses. He throws the ball up and he swings and he misses, and he's like, I didn't know I was such a good pitcher, right? Like, you've got to have that mindset in trading. You've got to keep going. Stand back up. That's the only thing that got me to where I am right now, is that I didn't give up when everyone else did. So keep going. All right, y'all. I'll see you later.